May 2nd, 1957, and we are live in New York with updates on the Cold War. But what is this? Joseph McCarthy has died? Reports say at Bethesda Naval Hospital, just outside of Washington, is where he died of acute hepatitis. He will be laid to rest at St. Mary's Cemetery. Now, to my co-anchor, Caleb Pulaski.
Joseph McCarthy grew up as a fifth child of 9 on the farm in Appleton, Wisconsin. At the young age of 14, he left school to work as a chicken farmer and later became a grocery store manager. It was after returning to high school in 1928 that he became interested in politics. Originally a Democrat and supporter of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the New Plan, he tried to become a district attorney. He was unsuccessful and switched to the Republican Party. It was this Republican Party that led him to Senate in a career based off promoting anti-communists and imprisoning those who were communists. Now for more of this reverie man, Kaylee, live in Wisconsin.
Okay, Nance. This is the area where McCarthy grew up. McCarthy's agenda in politics was to campaign against communists in the Democratic administration. But this grew as he became involved in witch hunts, and people began to criticize him for accusing so many. McCarthy ran against La Follette for the Republican Senate seat. McCarthy suggested that because La Follette did not serve in the war and was profiting off of investments, he was guilty of war profiteering. McCarthy won the Senate seat and La Follette retired from politics and later committed suicide. Here with reactions to McCarthy's death, La Follette's friend. Sir, how do you feel knowing that Joseph McCarthy has passed away?
That man was scum. I will not speak ill upon the dead, but what he accused my friend of was a lie. McCarthy himself is a fraud. In his first years in Senate, he was being investigated for tax offenses and bribes by the Pepsi-Cola company. He claimed to have 205 names of communists living in the United States. But even that didn't hold up. He eventually lowered the number to 57. He would accuse a man for his sexual orientation or his drinking habits. And if you were a left-wing Democrat, it was smart to follow men like Joseph Lousy, who went to live in Europe. So am I sorry that Joseph McCarthy is dead? No, not a bit.
Thank you for your views, sir. Now I bring to you a supporter of Joseph McCarthy, who has her own views on the shocking death that occurred just a few hours ago.
Joseph McCarthy was a decent man. He wanted to free the world from the evils going on in other countries. He was trying to protect the U.S. from the communism in the Soviet Union and knew that by showing the communists in the Democratic Party, he would bring awareness to the problem. When Soviet Union communists threatened us, Joseph McCarthy was a bare-knuckled anti-communist crusader who led with capitalism and democracy. When Russian spies infiltrated the deepest levels of our government, it was McCarthy who shared the evidence for the U.S. citizens and led a campaign to help stop the USSR. McCarthy was a good man.
Thank you, both of you. Now back to you.
This concludes our segment on the death of Joseph McCarthy and those who were deeply affected by the fight on tyranny he led. Now, for more news on the Cold War.